When it's cold outside, there's nothing quite like a hearty bowl of beef and vegetable stew. This is the easiest recipe I know. In fact, I think anyone can make it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thanks for joining me for today's video recipe. My mum used to make the most amazing beef stew. It wasn't complicated, it was really straightforward. And nowadays there are so many different versions out there, but I wanted to do a beef stew that's so easy to make. A simple selection of vegetables, some really good quality beef stock, some wonderful big chunks of beef, and some flavourings that are just easy to get. Some paprika, some herbs, Worcestershire sauce, tomato paste, a bit of garlic, a big chunk of beef dripping, and then a little bit of flour to thicken it towards the end. A very, very easy recipe. Let's get cracking, shall we? I've got a chunk of beef dripping in my pan. I'm going to melt it, and then I'm going to put my meat in there, and I'm going to saute that until it starts to turn brown. Pop a bit of salt and pepper in there just to season. When it starts to get a nice brown caramelised crust on that meat, just like that there, that's the time to add the rest of the seasonings. Paprika and some thyme is going in, or you can use mixed herbs. I've got a little bit of fresh garlic too. Now I'm going to throw in my tomato paste and some Worcestershire sauce, an essential ingredient. Mix all that for a couple of minutes until everything has evenly coated the meat. Now we're going to add the beef stock or the beef broth. This is really important, by the way. The better quality the stock, this will make a better stew. Once it comes to the boil, I want to turn it down to a simmer, and I'm going to leave it for 1 hour. After an hour, I'm going to add my veggies. Parsnips, celery, potatoes, carrots, onions, and some bay leaves. A little bit of water just to top everything up. Make sure everything's covered. Bring it back to a boil. And then we're going to pop the lid on and cook it for another hour on a low simmer. And once that's up, our stew's ready. Everything's nice and soft. Everything's nice and tender. But it's quite watery, so I'm going to take a cup of water and a half cup of flour, any flour, and just give it a mix until there are no lumps. Whisk it really well. We're making a flour and water slurry. Once we've mixed that in, we're going to use it to thicken the stew, to make it much more appetizing. And we're going to take it tablespoon by tablespoon and just drizzle it over the stew. And once you've added 3 or 4 tablespoons of your flour slurry, I want you to stir it in. And if it's not thick enough, you can always add another tablespoon. I found on this version that 4 tablespoons was just enough to make my stew a little bit thick. Didn't want it to be too watery. Wanted it to just sit in my plate. So once we've got that stew beautifully thick and velvety and smooth, everything is absolutely perfect. I want to just throw in a little bit of extra salt and pepper. Look at that bubbling away. Give it another stir and our stew is ready. It really is. I'm just taking that bay leaf out, by the way. We don't want to chew on that, do we? It really is fabulous. If it's cold outside, this is what you need, I promise you. Look at that. Got the celery, the potatoes, the carrots, tender beef. Everything. It's such a wonderful, simple beef stew. And it's ready to serve up. There you go. My simple beef stew, everybody. Let's get it in the dish, shall we? Let's have a close-up on that stew. Look at that, all those chunks of identifiable vegetables and meat. Nothing in there that is going to upset you. Everything is straightforward. It's a very, very simple recipe. Anyone can make it. And don't forget, everyone, if you've enjoyed the video today, please subscribe, share with your friends. Don't forget to smash that like button. It's huge for us. And if you make this and you've got any suggestions or any comments, leave them in the description below. I am going to get right stuck into that bowl. I'm going to have a big chunk of sourdough bread with it. I'll see you guys very soon.